Yay, awesome. So welcome everyone. Last meetup of the year. So almost there. Yeah, it was a crazy year for sure. Yeah. So today I'm going to present you great ideas that I have been receiving since we started the idea to create a new summer camp coding experience as the last year. So the main idea here is to talk about, to present to you the ideas we have received and also talk about them and ask for your help to try to see if we can define what are the best ideas that you may think that we should put our effort on the summer camp. So that's the main purpose of this. So let's go. First of all, just let's do a quick recap from the Nicolas Gonzalez talk from DMAX. So last year on the summer camp, we said, okay, let's get together and do some code and try to create some value for the community. So we received two great ideas. One from Wildo that he said, hey, we should create a validator, a CMCD validator for the community. So every player that it's over there can use the tool for the CMS validator to check if the implementation is okay, because it's a spec, it's a standard, so it's great if everyone uses the spec in the same way. And also Marco, uh, he proposed to create an open source hybrid meetup platform using WebRTC. So we implemented both ideas, and the great results we had in first place was we released the first version of the validator in just a month, and also we create a proof of concept of the WebRTC meetup platform in just 1 month. So it was great because we could deliver some value to the community, and also we created some value for learning experience, and that was great. Also, while we created the CMCD validator, we could create some issues for the CMCD standard that now we are working on those in the CMCD v2 working group. So that's great. Also, we created some type of, we found ambiguities and things that were not really clear. So that was great. And also we find some issues on ExoPlayer and -js, and now they are fixed. So it was a great success. Also, after the Salmon Cup, we continue doing some stuff with CMCD, and we created a VHS.js plugin that right now you can use. And it's, in fact, I think they mentioned that in DMAX when there was a update from VHS.js, I think. And also we created like a tiny project that it's a CMCD analyzer, that it's a project where you can send information and use some tools to create some charts and analyze what the data says. And also we contribute with a CMCD course on SBTA University. So great results just from an idea. So that's great. And now we're here. Summer Camp 2024 is coming, and again, what we should build, what is the things we have to put our effort on and to create value again for the community. And so we received 6 awesome proposals for people from the community. Pat O'Neill, that is Director of Engineering in Brightcove. Casey is here from Paramount. Yuri from Brightcove also. Alex and Belly here. Thank you, Alex. Are you here? Yes, you're here. So
I
you're
am,
going to
yes.
talk. Yes, you're going to talk. Casey, you too. So also Willow and Phil Harrison from AWS. So let's get into the ideas, and after we present the 6 ideas, the 6 proposals, I'm going to share with you a tiny Google form so you can try to to receive feedbacks from just the ideas, or what are the interests, or what you think it could be. You say, hey, I would like to work on that. Maybe not coding, maybe defining the problem on how to achieve some results. So keep in mind that after the presentation, you can, again, give us feedbacks from the ideas so we can build and together define what we have to do on the summer camp. Also, after I finish presenting the 6 proposals, we can go back to the presentation and check some doubts or whatever, right? So let's go. The first of all was Pat. He's working in the VHS player team, and he said, "Hey, Nico, you have implemented the CMCD plugin. Why don't you and the team go and implement it on VHS.js? That is the main library behind the VHS player." Sorry that the sun is is complicated here. There it is. So the idea is, hey, we already did the VHS plugin, implemented on VHS.js. That is, okay, again, the main library that works with Dash and HLS standards in VHS. So it's like a very simple project. We already have the knowledge, we already have the code, and we are very with not so much issue. You can have like already on every VHS player the CMCD implementation, because that's great, because right now maybe someone doesn't know that there is a plugin. So if you don't know what is CMCD and you don't know that there is a plugin over there, you're not going to apply it, and so you're losing that value. And so that's a great idea. Next one, and we have here Casey. I think, Casey, you can please jump in any moment if I say something that is wrong, of course. So I heard this idea from the beginning of the year, and I love it, because Casey said, "Hey, community, we have a big issue here. Like every open source player, like Dash.js, LL-HLS, ExoPlayer, VHS.js, all of those has a lot of copy-paste code. So that's a problem, because it's very difficult to maintain the players. If you find a bug, let's imagine you find a bug using, I don't know, subtitles in VTT, some VTT issue in ExoPlayer. So you have to make the fix, and then you have to go to fix again in another place. Also, like if you go to the repositories, you will see like the same kind of proposals or requests, like this example, Dash.js, LL-HLS, ExoPlayer. Everyone is asking for the same feature request regarding CMCD. So we have to implement again in all the players. And this is the clear case, for example, comparing the code of LL-HLS and ExoPlayer. And you can see that I think this is the code for ID3. So it's copy paste and maybe some refactor just because of some lint instructions or whatever. And so the idea is to create a common library to bring in one JavaScript library all the common stuff for players, not regarding like the things that are like the, I don't know, the algorithm for multi-bit rate or whatever. No, just like the common stuff. There is just one way to do ID3 or to do VTT, all the common stuff. Let's put it together, and with that, let's create a library and create like a lot of, import all the main functions in the players from a common library and make the fixes there, and then have a lot of copy paste. Casey, let's check if that's the idea.
No, I think you nailed it. It's really, it also ties back to CMCD. So I started to notice this when I was implementing CMCD across LL-HLS and Shaka, where I actually also did the same thing. I wrote it in one place and then copied it over and just kind of wished that there was a common place to put stuff. So yeah, it is up right now, and it's actually being used by Dash.js and HLS.js currently. We're working on getting it into Shaka as well. And so generally speaking, we're kind of always looking for new libraries or new features that people might think are useful or they have found themselves implementing across multiple projects.
That's great. And so the idea is, let's find what kind of features. This is a. I think there is a big roadmap over there because there is a lot of stuff in players. So we can start keeping, maybe some functionality. Let's say, for example, as we talk ID3, let's put ID3 on the common media library and then create all the pull requests in all the players. Also, there is a lot of work to check different implementations and see if there is some bug solved in some player or not. So the idea is to grab some features and start programming those. And that's a great contribution. Also, I forgot to mention that this project is part of the SBTA playback players and playback group. So that's also a great contribution for SBTA. Anything else, Casey, that I may forgot?
No, I think that's it. We're currently sort of trying to figure out what our next set of features that we want to implement are. So we're trying to ask around to the community. So, one I think that's easy pickings is like caption rendering. To where all the libraries, some of the libraries just completely don't do it. But then you've got others like Dash.js that have tried to solve the problem as well. And so that could be an interesting spot to implement. The other thing is, if the Common Media Library doesn't get picked up as a project by itself, if one of the projects that does get chosen, if there's any code in there that would be common, please feel free to use Common Media Library, fork it, and submit the new feature. And that's it.
Thank you, Casey. So let's move on to the next candidate. So number 3 is content steering in ExoPlayer. Yuri told me the other day, say, hey, Nico, you know that Google ExoPlayer team is looking for adding content steering in their player, and they're willing to accept third-party pull requests. So that's awesome. We have the opportunity to implement content steering on every Android device in the world. So that's very fun. Just quick recap, if anyone doesn't know what is content steering, the main idea of content steering is to have a standard, a common way to do, to switch between CDNs in a, let's say, yeah, in a common way to do it. So the idea is that you have your traditional origin, you put your content on your CDN, so your clients or players, players are going to, again, receive the content, but you have now a new server that the players ask for the server to know which CDN or origin they should retrieve the content. So this server can say to the client number 1, for example, hey, you are on CDN 1, now you have to switch to CDN 2 because of, it may depend the reasons. You can program or create whatever reason you or algorithm you want. It could be because of costs. It could be because of bad playback experience. It depends on what you want to implement because the standards just say how to exchange information regarding which CDN the player should be requesting the video. So that's a tiny recap of what is content steering. And so the idea again is to implement that standard into ExoPlayer that now there is a ticket over there to say, hey, we should add support for content steering. So yeah, that's a great project with also a great impact in all the player ecosystem. And so, Alex, your turn. Let's see if I got it right. If not, please jump in. CMAF, hypothetical application model. I don't know if anyone, I have never heard about it, but it's really, really, really very interesting. So, and I have to put the ham over there, of course, because of, yeah, it was the joke, it was so easy. So yeah, sorry for that. So So the idea is this. Currently, we have like a lot of ways, a lot of libraries or whatever to switch content. Sometimes you have content in HLS and you have some library or whatever, and you convert that HLS content to a dash format, or the other way, dash format to HLS content. And looks out that when CMAF come out, there was a part of the standard that nobody takes into account. That is the CMAF hypothetical application model. That is something that is a definition that can help us to make that better, to define something that it's not just have a HLS content and then move to other formats. So define a model that could be exported to different formats, to HLS, to CMAF, or in the future, if we have another kind of format for quick or whatever, maybe it could be like also useful. And not again like making like translations between HLS and Dash in that way. So if you go to CMAF standard, you will see this in the chapter number 6. So a great proof of something that could be very great for this project is to create a proof of concept to demonstrate that it's possible to convert, HLS and Dash manifest using this this part of the standard, these definitions. We can create like a library and try to say, okay, maybe we should scope what are the features we want to maintain, or what kind of stuff we, because it's Dash and HLS are very big. So maybe for a proof of concept, we can keep some basic functionalities and create a JavaScript library to do that. That could be a great goal. So to define a scope, because again, it's a very big job to convert HLS to Dash to HLS, but create this. First, we have to create a model, because the standard just said doesn't say how the model works. It just said what you should cover, if I understood very well. So the idea is to create a model that can handle all the information needed, and create for example, a node library. And for that node library, try to convert HLS to Dash and vice versa. So that could be like a great way that in the future it could be the way, or the library, to not use anymore, HLS to Dash conversions, and have like a better way to do manifest manipulation also. Alex, I don't know if I make it right.
Yeah, I think that's the gist of it. What I can add is that I think the sort of the motivation for doing this is, I think, similar to the common MediaLibrary project motivation, which is that we end up solving a lot of the same or very similar problems over and over again. So somebody will go build an HLS parser, an HLS writer, and the HLS manipulator, and then somebody else in a different project will do exactly the same things for Dash. And I think we're missing out on an opportunity, which was presented to us by CMAF, which is that CMAF gave us this hypothetical presentation model, which says, here's how you describe a media presentation that consists of switching sets, and consists of selection sets and tracks, and really all the elements that both HLS and Dash give us. It is just describing it in a more general way. And so I think we can look at the CMAF hypothetical application model really as kind of the superset, really the intermediate language that we could use to describe really any kind of streaming presentation, regardless of what the format is. And so if at some point in the future, somebody comes up with a third, flavor of a ABR streaming format, this would be a way to really easily extend that support. So yeah, I think hopefully that gives a little bit more context there.
Thank you so much clearer. So yeah, that's another. Yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say I'd love to have this code in the common media library.
Oh my God.
This idea has been tossed around a bunch. I don't know if anybody's talked to Walker from Mux. But this idea of a common model, there's a lot of interest in there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think there's definitely
happy to have it live there.
Yeah, I think there's a great opportunity here for collaboration and synergy between the, whether it's one project or two projects. But yeah, I think there's definitely I can see a lot of connections there.
Excellent.
I love it. We have to merge those projects for sure.
Common Media Ham.
Yeah, and the best name ever.
And all credit for that one goes to you. That is definitely your idea. So love it.
Nobody will forget the name. So yeah. So great. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Casey, also for jumping in. Let's go to the number 5. That it's Willow said, hey, after Dimas, he said, hey, we have an issue. We don't have a low latency HLS origin. We have to build some. We don't have any open source low latency origin. So yeah, there is a project. Again, if you are not familiar with low latency HLS origin, or sorry, low latency HLS, yeah, you have to again go to the standard and take a look. More CMAF, more fragmentations, and how to create all those playlists in real time. I think there have been some work in FFmpeg. They already have implemented low latency dash, but there is no support for low latency HLS. So we have that's the idea, but we don't know where to start. Should we build something from scratch? Should we do something for FFmpeg? Does anyone maybe is doing some low latency HLS origin already, or packaging, or something regarding that? And so that's a problem. We don't have an open source way to do this, so that's an opportunity. And that gives us to the last project, that is a FASTChannel Scheduler. That, if you know, fast channels are a way to monetize content, again, to create from VOD content and live content, to create some kind of fake live channels where we do some server-side ad insertions. So we create live channels for that, like the traditional broadcast, but with the new technologies in a streaming world, in a less expensive way, that do transcoding a live channel 24 hours, that it's really expensive. So the idea is, hey, let's create now that fast channels are a trend, let's create some open source tool to create a fast channel scheduler. And so the idea is let's create something that could be again, a fast channel scheduler that has a user interface to drag and drop some, you have to create the APG of the channel. So let's drag and drop some content. Let's configure where the ads are going to be, pre-roll, post-roll, mid-roll, or whatever. The idea is to use MediaTailor for that, and to create some way so anyone can create an adapter, CMS adapter, to retrieve the content from any CMS that it's ready in the industry, with VOD content, live content, or whatever, and using MediaTailor create MediaTailor, for those who doesn't know, can do manifest manipulation. So you can create VOD to live content, and also can do server-side ad insertion. So that part is solved. The main part of this project is how to create a user-friendly way to manipulate the content. So I think it's also a great project, very different from the other ones. Maybe this, if someone says, hey, I like to do some front end or whatever, maybe this is a kind of project that it's very, very fun, because you have to do very intuitive user experience to create this kind of stuff. So it's a different project, but it is very great and very useful for the whole community. And so, what do you think? Just a tiny recap. We have now 6 awesome projects to work on. There it is a QR code, but of course I will share in the chat. Give me a second. This chat here. A tiny Google form just to, we need information now to say, hey, what should we work on? The idea is that the summer coding experience is going to start on January up to end of March. So we can do more than one project, depending, of course, of the size of the project. Because you may think, oh, maybe this project is very tiny. We can do a very tiny scope and a proof of concept of another project or whatever. And it could be a mix, because also there is people that are maybe like more to do some user interface stuff, or they prefer to create, again, for example, a definition or some of the CMAF structure, and others may like, hey, I want just to program. And maybe there's like a lot of different projects here. So it would be great for us to receive, like, what will you like? What do you think it's valuable for the community? What do you think it could be achieved very easily? And also I led a comment section where you can say, hey, maybe I think I love this idea. For example, I know project number 20, to not say any of those, and I will put this scope because I think it's something we can achieve in 1 month, and maybe in 2 months we can achieve this other stuff. And now we need your feedback, and also a part of the Google form is, if you want to join us to define the scope and how to achieve those projects. I imagine that, Casey, for example, if we say we are going to, hey, yeah, people wants to do command MediaLibrary, I imagine you're going to join.
Yes.
Same for you, Alex. So, but the idea is, hey, I know maybe you, Barry, you say, hey, I like the idea of command MediaLibrary, I want to join and propose some ideas or whatever. So also let's try to create the scope together with all the projects we have here, and put our hands into the keyboard and start working. Thank you, everyone. Questions, whatever.
What's your timeline for project selection?
We would love to start in first weeks of January, because probably people will take some vacations, first week of January.
Yeah, I mean that's when you would like to start working on the projects. But when do you when you're looking to finalize the selection of the projects?
Oh yeah. Now end of December. Yeah, end of December, first days of January, and probably start working up the projects second week of January.
Okay.
Maybe third, when you're back from vacation, Nico. Be honest.
After vacation, we say, hey, what is this? Where is my office?
Hey, Nico, I have a question on the content steering one. So the question I had on that does there exist like a reference content steering server as an open source application?
Yes.
Is there such a thing? And if so, then the second question would be, is there anything specific in the ExoPlayer stuff? But if you're going to implement the client side for that communication on the server, is there anything specific to ExoPlayer, or could that be, again, a candidate for something that goes into the common media library?
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I don't know if the common media library, we can add some stuff for Android, because I think that the scope of common media library is more for JavaScript
It's on
stuff.
JavaScript,
I don't know how that could be fit, but yeah, the other question, I think SBTA has already published the open source content steering reference implementation.
Okay.
That it's implemented on Edge. I think it's implemented on AWS Lambda, if I remember well. So we already have a reference implementation that it's needed to implement this also. So yeah. More questions? I love the way libraries can match together. Sounds like very, very fun. Come on, June, you have some ideas?
Oh, I already filled out the form.
Oh, awesome.
Now, there's a lot of good ideas, though.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciate everyone's ideas and again support. Now, Alex, that you are here. Also, Casey, thank you so much also for sharing all the stuff, all this incredible stuff. Because I think I really believe this is the way to create things that have real value for the community. Just to ask for your advice or what you think we should do, and that's great. Thank you for sharing all the ideas and feedback and everything. Really, thank you a lot. All right, guys. Any other question or mixed idea? Great.
Thanks, Nico, and thanks everyone for joining.